You. My name is Andre Joseph Deipko. Welcome to the show. Today joining me, I have all the way from Germany, Lucy Mones. How you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for making the time. I'm really excited finally getting a guest from Germany. My goal is to speak with everyone from Europe, from all the different countries, as well as I've had someone from Australia, and then I got to get some Canadians as well.
Oh,
Um,
it's beautiful. Love the Canadians.
Yeah, they're awesome. And so I wanted to ask you a little bit about Germany, but first, please tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Lucy Mones. I come originally from near Cologne, so from the west of Germany. I come from the suburbs in Germany. So basically, I have been in the suburb village area when I was growing up, and that's when it was still very traditional. Everyone was quite conservative with the way of thinking, except for, of course, the youth. They were quite leftists. So I grew up in a very good environment, but ever since I moved to Berlin last year, in January, I have actually noticed how much is going downhill in Germany because I'm basically in the center of Germany at the moment. I'm in the capital of Germany. So that's how I have actually noticed uh, how we actually lose touch of our culture and our ethnicity and our ancestry and our history as well. And that's why I have started making my content last year in November about my political beliefs and our traditions.
Awesome. Gotcha. So take me back a little bit to when things were better, things were good. You were growing up, it was more conservative. What was life like in Germany? Did you say it was more like you grew up in a little village suburbs?
Yeah, I grew up in a little village. We had our beautiful little festives, our little events when everyone was just singing because I used to even sing in a choir in my hometown. So I was in a children choir, and I was also in another choir with adults, and we had our traditional events, and we had um, party. We had also some nice parties like Carnival. Over here we have Carnival. I don't know if you know about Carnival.
I
That is
no,
a
no.
German tradition that you just put on costumes and um, w- wait for the parade to come, and the parade will also treat you with little candy and stuff, and you listen to traditional carnival music. So that was so sweet when we didn't even need any safety precautions.
It sounds like it was a stronger community where people probably knew each other, so it felt safer because you could watch each other's backs.
Exactly. We had such a strong um, community where you could just feel comfortable with each other and don't have to have any fear of you being attacked or even just an Abdul, crashing the crowd. It was a beautiful time, and I love looking back at it because, yeah, there was something light about that.
Yeah, and I feel like you didn't need to fill those kind of times with a bunch of, scrolling and this and that because there was more to like live for. There's more to do that was more meaningful.
Exactly, because everyone was just there for each other, and if you felt somewhat alone, you could easily just go to your neighbor's house and just chillax with your neighbors. And yeah, I love the suburbs, but I also love the city life as well.
Who doesn't love the city? I mean, there's a lot going on. A lot, especially when you're a young person. You get to go to all the restaurants and hang out with people your age and things like that. I wanted to ask you about the um was were you going to the city when you were younger too to see like how it used to be, or
Y-
is it like a
Now and
were you able to compare now to then?
yeah, every now and then I went to Cologne because it was the closest city, and even Düsseldorf. And I must confess that we had a lot of people from Turkey in the so like nearby, but that was quite normal actually because um, most of the workers from the 80s were from Turkey. So that's why they had lots of their families here. We also have some Turkey blogs, so like for the Turkish people. But ever since Angela Merkel has also let so many immigrants into our environment, they have actually, so like, how should I say this? They have not multiplied, but like there is an increasing population of these types of people, and not all of them are respectful. Actually, the ones who were working in the 80s, they are quite respectful. They actually are quite grateful. They actually see themselves as Germans. But the newer ones, the new immigrants, they don't really see themselves as too much of Germans, and would rather want to have their types of cultures in our country. And that's why they also like to just throw cuss words around in their language, and
Right.
it is so foreign, you know.
Yeah, you have like this compound issue where more immigration is happening and they're having more kids, whereas native populations are having less. So you're having this challenge because now they're able to push back where as they become more of a what's it called? If as when they become more populated, they're going to be able to attain more power, whether it's politically, whether it's by force. And so what you have is the natives kind of feel a little more like they're getting the short end, especially if your taxes are going to this stuff, right?
Exactly. And they don't really like to get jobs in our country, and that's why we have to mostly do the paying and not the earning of everything. And I think it's quite problematic because they actually also have a stronger um, sense for building families, you know, because we as white people, we are always being told these days by current media that we always need to have Planned Parenthood. By that, also um, always being afraid of having kids and not actually feeling like the desire to actually build a family. And we also like to advertise uh, birth control and even abortions these days. And I think we need to make parenthood more attractive to even the natives.
Yeah, 100%. And you have like this again, it's another compounding effect where the media and the social media pushes for you to not have kids, to wait. They poison our water, they poison our food, poison our air supply, right? They get us in debt. It's harder to afford the kids. They also tell you it's really hard to afford kids when really it's not actually. Yeah, all the poorest people I know have the most kids, right? So you can actually have the kids, but the more educated you become, the longer you wait, you end up having one, maybe two. Um, and it's just growing, but I feel like at least there's a waking up to the fact. I think it was an ad in Germany where they were saying it was a mother with her 2 kids, and it was saying, like, "Don't have kids because 'cause they're destroying the planet. Your kids are, like, sucking up all the resources." Was that in German? Ger
Yeah, that was it's German. That's something that you could have seen on like bus stations, so bus stops. And that's actually kind of wild because
It's amazing people haven't destroyed that, like, it's just so in your face propaganda, you know.
yeah, I mean, sure, the environment is not getting better by our consumption, but still, we are part of the environment. We built it, even in a positive way. So why making it seem like a child is such a burden, not only for you, but also for the environment? That's actually kind of messed up, to be honest. And I am glad that I am also an aunt, by the way. My brother and my, hopefully soon to be sister-in-law, they have received a child, even though they were both still studying, and they actually take advantage of our system in a most beautiful way possible because they are good citizens. They study something in a very good department that is being also quite useful for the environment. And I think that's how we need to pay like our taxes for, because these are citizens who will actually do something good for us and not something that will destroy us. And that's something that we see today, that many people who take advantage of our tax money, they just would rather want to change our traditions, change our nations, and destroy it in a way.
Yeah, 100% they wanna destroy it. I mean, they lie so directly to your face where they say, "Don't have kids, destroys the environment," but then they say, "Well, we need immigrants to fill the fact that there's not kids being born."
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's important that we also make kids look human again, because now we have seen what in the United States is going on with what's her name again? Clancy. Her last name is what?
Yeah, the woman who killed her children?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually kind of messed up. Not only kind of, it's totally messed up how there are women actually fangirling for her because it was still her choice to do that. No, it is brutality in its purest form. And we normalize that. We normalize that type of brutality, not only inside the womb, but also outside the womb. And
And I
that's
just
why,
sorry to interrupt, I just saw a court, in court, something was passed where the woman can have an abortion up until delivery now.
yeah, I have seen that myself. And that's so messed up because we need to make children human again for society, because we look at children as objects that you can just abort whenever, that you can kill whatever. We all were children once. We need to face that. We were all tiny little creatures in our mother's womb. And that's why it's so important to make children human again in society.
What blows my mind, I talked about this when I had Emily on, Escape with Emily, who you guys should check that one out because she's been to 185 countries. I don't know if you know her, really cool.
I
Um
have seen your interview with her.
Oh,
She's
awesome. Yeah, yeah, I forgot I sent that over. Um, but the grooming gangs, the fact that the world isn't on fire with that, or at least Britain and England, blows my mind because if you're not protecting little girls, like, what are you even having a society for?
Yeah, I mean, they have the need to protect minorities, which are not even minorities anymore, so hard because we have that white savior complex. We feel the need to always come off as so superior, while it's seeming like the evil ones, because they look at themselves. So the ones who are defending these gangs and the ones who are defending these types of people, not like Miss Clancy, but like these foreigners, let's just say, they feel the need to do that because they think that we still have the power. No, we don't have the power anymore as white people in our own countries. We need to take the power back, and that's why we are part of the right-wing conservative movement, because we have seen how we have lost that control, we have lost that power, and that's why we need to regain the power to also fully defend ourselves against these types of criminals.
And the idea that we just want to be safe and healthy and have a clean society is somehow hateful. And that's why I don't even entertain these people who try to argue that. It's all in bad faith. You know what I mean? So I see you have a cross right here. Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I'm a Christian. I'm evangelical. Actually, I got baptized evangelical. Over here in Germany, we don't really do Lutheran or whatever. We just call it evangelical, you know. But I actually want to convert to Catholicism maybe because I have seen how grounding Catholic Mass is
Yeah.
and how you can actually be much more in touch with Jesus Christ with Catholicism than like evangelicalism, you know. But
Sure. It's a little more there's more like guidelines, there's more tradition in a sense, I would say. And I think that's why a lot of men are leaning towards even orthodoxy because it's really rooted in tradition. It's really, you can't break the rules. You can't just do whatever you want.
exactly, and that's the thing. What I've seen in the city life, because in the city life there is so much freedom that it's been restrictive again because you are getting lost in that. That's the thing, because we have all the opportunities in the world, we have all the choices in the world, and unfortunately, so many people they don't have that inner voice that tells them not to do certain things, you
Yeah.
know? And that's something that I have totally seen in the city life because here are so many kinky clubs and everything, and lots of polyamory going on. And I just think it's so sad that we lose that sense of tradition only because we love the self indulgence. And that's something that Christianity is preventing you from doing, from being that way, you know, from
Yeah.
being self indulgent in that way.
And I think a lot of us can look back at our grandparents and see the holiness, especially in our grandmothers, where they were going to church every weekend. They were all about the family. They didn't care about money. They really didn't. And it's hard not to, right? Like it's a material world, but there's something beautiful about it.
Yeah, well, my grandparents couldn't care less about money because I'm German, and of course, we have unfortunately lost the war. Well, actually, we have fortunately lost the war, but okay.
And actually, I want to talk about that a little bit, but go ahead, finish it.
But yeah, basically, um, my grandparents grew up in a very poor environment, especially my grandfather. And that's why all you had to do is believe in God to guide you so you can actually rebuild what you have lost.
Yeah. And I think that there's a separation too between the sexes where they're not really a team anymore. It's kind of difficult to not be materialistic if you think, well, I can't have a girl unless I have a nice car and a garage and this, and vice versa. A woman wants to feel safe, right? She wants to feel like she can rely on someone and this and that. And there is a fracturing of the family in that way too.
That's the issue about social media, what I've seen, because not only social media, but also the porn industry is totally objectifying us every single day. Because the porn industry, well, it goes without saying that each time you view porn, you will always look at another person as an object for your own satisfaction, you know, and the porn that they consume these days, they are so like the porn is getting very brutal. You know, it's no longer just like lovey-dovey 70s type of
Yeah. Like a goofy hippie kind of thing.
yeah, but now it's just like totally brutal and also not even consensual anymore. And that's something that the youth is consuming on a daily basis. And that's
Yeah.
why they lose touch with their own sexuality and with the normal relationships in life. And also,
If too.
yeah, and also seeing how we consume social media every single day and we don't even feel the need to just reach out to our neighbor sitting next to us so like on a train, because we are so afraid of talking to them because everyone is just in their own heads and on their phones. It's just sad how we lose touch with a society, and then feeling like we can replace each other all the time, because basically what social media has taught you, that you're always replaceable, that there will always be somebody better looking than you, somebody who has got um, much more money than you, somebody who has more status than you, somebody who is funnier than you, whatever what type of quality is most important to you, you will always find somebody who is better at it. So you will always feel unsatisfied with the current person you're dealing with, might it be dating wise, but also only like as a friend.
Yeah, and that becomes difficult because if you think you can have someone who's not even in a bad sense, but let's say someone who's a little nicer, who you think would be a better mother, and now you have different options, or someone who'd be a better husband, it's hard to deny those instincts, right? We're designed to seek what we can get,
Yeah, and
but it's almost like an
um,
artificial version of like you can have these things too. I think we all think we can get
like a
rich,
whole catalog.
and this and that.
Yeah, it's a whole catalog. It's like scrolling through Amazon, looking what air fryer is the bestest, And it's like Amazon, but for people. Yeah,
Oh, so I wanted to go back a little bit into growing up as a German. So
right.
the only thing I know about Germany is World War II as far as like growing up, right? And so a lot of people don't know really anything about Germany and what it means to be German. And so would you mind maybe sharing a little bit of what you think that might be?
Well, being German is basically um, healing from generational wounds to your whole life, because we may have caused the war, but we have also lost it, and lots of bad things have come from that, such as um, the Red Army invading Eastern Prussia, and we had lots of Eastern Prussian refugees uh, coming to the west of Germany, and that's one of like my grandfather. He is from Eastern Prussia, and he had to escape. He had to leave his childhood home, and even his sister got kidnapped by the Red Army. So like
Wow.
so she has been kidnapped for 3 years, and even saw their aunt and their uncle being killed in front of them.
Right.
And it's so yeah, I'm getting a little emotional right now, and because that's something that we need to still heal from. We as Germans, we are not even only like the cool aesthetic villains that you can basically, because that's what Instagram tells you. We're the cool aesthetic villains, inglorious bastards, whatever.
I
But
got the Hugo Boss like attire on and things like that, yeah. Which this is from Hugo Boss.
exactly, I like to play with that every once in a while. But we are not only that, but we are also victims of these circumstances ourselves, and lots of wounds need to heal from that time, because my grandfather couldn't afford much, because he actually had to escape for like such a long time, like not only a long time, but like the distance was quite huge, because you had to imagine. So now remember, do you know where Danzig is right now in Poland?
Is that Gdansk?
Exactly. So
Yeah.
it is.
So now it's Polish territory, but it used to be German. But I hear both sides where it's like it used to be this. I don't know what's true.
It used to be Eastern Prussia. My grandfather used to come from there in that area, and
Mm.
he had to move all the way from Gdansk to Cologne, to that area. It's a huge distance. It's a huge route, and he thankfully found a home in my grandma's father's place. So, like, my grandma's parents' place, and my grandma's father even helped him get finding a job and helped him even being part of their community, and
Wow.
that's how my grandparents even have gotten to know each other.
Right.
And that's actually something that's so beautiful. And with that type of history in mind, living as a German citizen, also learning about the Second World War and the Holocaust in high school and middle school, because we had to learn all the details because of the guilt tripping that that they like to do,
Yeah.
and to also learn basically what we have done, but still they
They're like, "Hey, 100 years ago, this happened. You should feel bad about it." As a little kid. Yeah.
exactly, that's something that I had to go through as a kid, and it's so crazy because I have that weird feeling of feeling guilty while feeling so sad while grieving for my grandparents' childhood,
Yeah.
you know? And that's a very conflicting thing. So, our childhood is not as light as anyone from America, maybe, because we always have that thing in mind. And yeah, but we still love actually practicing our traditions, our traditional little events in our hometowns, and drinking beer, of course.
Have you been to, Oktoberfest?
No, I've never been.
Never been? Yeah.
No,
That's a big thing. Where does that take place? That's in
that's
Germany, right?
Munich. It's in
Munich?
Munich.
Okay.
Nah, that's the thing too. Whole Germany is not Bavaria. Um, we don't wear lederhosen all the time. We don't wear dirndls all the time. But I mean, it's drippy, it's drippy, it's got some drip, it's got some swag, but, uh
I've been to Germany. I went, but I was only in the Autobahn. So, we drove pretty fast on there, but that's all I have, reference. I was going through because I was going to Poland from I was coming from Sweden.
right.
And so, yeah, that's the only time. But now I need to spend some actual time because I don't know if you saw Lily Gaddis is over there and she's showing these pictures. I'm like, this is so pristine, so beautiful. The mountains, the water.
Yeah, she is in Berchtesgaden, I think, in Bavaria somewhere.
And it looks amazing. And I see those German castles and all this stuff. And for some reason, because I watch so much of the X and Instagram, I'm like, it's completely destroyed. It's taken over. But then I see these, pristine, beautiful parts. I'm like, okay, I got to see this.
Yeah, it is beautiful. I was there when I was a child. We also like to travel. So my parents and I, so also the whole family, we like to travel all around our own country and seeing all the sightings. And we also got to see Neuschwanstein, so that beautiful castle that even Adolf Hitler painted before.
Yeah, yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. We have so many castles. We have more castles in Germany than you guys have, like, McDonald's over there.
So we have the same algorithm.
Basically, I mean, we're mutuals after all, but still, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about Germany. We have so many castles. We also have so many beautiful churches. Germany has always been a Christian country, and it needs to remain that way, by the way.
Was it a Catholic or is it a Catholic country or is it more evangelical as a total?
Obviously, Martin Luther came from Germany, so mm,
God.
it's both. It's both. Yeah.
Okay. And so you travel, but you even travel outside of Germany. I seen you've gone to Poland recently or
Yeah.
in the last
Visited my bestie in Poland, and I have had the full Polish experience, hanging out with her friends and hanging out with her father too, who is 93 years old, and he actually experienced the beginning of the Second World War, and unfortunately, because yeah, it was horrific. But it was very interesting to talk to all of them. But I also got to see Warsaw. It was stunning, very clean. The metro is gorgeous. You can basically you cannot even imagine how beautiful the metro is. As a Berliner, I
Yeah.
see
Well,
such a huge contrast.
it's the same in Philadelphia. Like you get on any public transit and you're lucky if it only mildly smells like urine, you know? And you're lucky if there's only one crazy person on there. And the one time I got on, I was coming back from Georgia, I think. And I'm on the train at night and there's this guy with this he was a cop, but he had to be on there at past midnight with this huge like machine. I'm like, am I in a war zone?
Yeah, it's crazy, and that's a similar situation in Germany, and to see that, um, beautiful system in, Warsaw, was amazing, and, it's a very clean city, and, the
Yeah, they
crime are
respect
quite
their land. They
low.
respect their culture.
Yeah, exactly, they're quite Catholic. Catholicism is very important there. It's actually the most important thing for a real Polish person. Because even my bestie and I, we went to a Catholic mass in Warsaw. And funny story is, she was actually praying that I convert to Catholic when we were at the mass. And yeah, because it is so important to them. And even when I was at the party, we celebrated her birthday party. Even um, her right wing friends were like, "Yeah, you need to be Catholic. No, evangelic. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful
That's
how
refreshing to
they
hear.
yeah, it's beautiful how they see it as relevant in their lives, because for many people in other Western nations, religion is secondary. And that's why we lose religion
Yeah.
right now.
So what you're seeing in Poland, you're seeing the core of the country being, followers of Jesus Christ. And look at the society it can create. Whereas you and I both experienced living in areas or cities or towns or anything where it's godless and like no one cares about their surroundings. They don't care about each other. It's all about me, me, me. How do I get ahead? But, just speaking about like what your grandfather, how he was given opportunity by your grandmother's family and made a part of that. It's like we're really lacking identity in in our own heritage as well as the religion.
Yeah, exactly. And back then, they actually had to prioritize their own people because we were going down, and that's something that we need to also remember as white people, that we need to also look out for each other, because the Black community is always looking out for each other. And the Muslim community, they're looking out for each other. So why shouldn't we, as white Western Christian people, look out for each other much
Sure,
more?
yeah, why wouldn't you watch out for your family? I mean, we're just extended family. That's the thing too, there's a lot of bad blood because of history between the Russians and the Poles or the Germans and the Russians or the Poles and the Germans, and it's like we're very, very, similar in our beliefs in what we want in life, and I think there's a lot more in common than people let on. They always try to pin us against each other. Like, if you're American, you have to hate Russia, you know what I mean? But then I speak to Russians, like, "Seem pretty cool to me. I don't have an issue." But again, I haven't gone through what people go through, so I'm not saying I'm an authority.
Yeah, and Germany likes to, so at least the German media, they like to portray the United States and Americans as still stupid and fat and lazy. And
Maybe a little.
not just Donald Trump being the president. They like to poke fun at the fact that he is also just fat and he likes to use this fake tan and he always uses the simplified language and yeah, and that's something that they show in German media at all times. And each time something bad happens in Germany, we always like to say, well, in the United States, they have it worse. So yeah, but that
Been to the US?
huh?
Have you been to the US?
No, have never been. I want to go to the United States next year though in May. I would totally love to explore the United States because I actually have a good bond with them. I have lots of American friends, and I am actually not opposed to America. I'm actually somewhat in love with America because I love your culture and what you have actually also done for society. I mean, the entertainment industry wouldn't be anything without you, you know, and that's
And I bet you like the music.
absolutely all of it, in the 60s and 70s stuff. I grew up with Led Zeppelin, I grew up with Jimi Hendrix, I grew up with um, that type of music, the Roses. And yeah, I really love the United States and I love their people. I have lots of American friends and I also love the America First movement. It's a very beautiful one.
We have our problems, but there's a lot of spirit here. There's a lot of, people, even if we aren't really free, like we thought we were more free than we are, but we're still in pursuit of that regardless. We know the
No.
consequences and we're like, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what you guys are about. And that's what I love. You, as Americans, at least, sure, there are some weird ass leftists and liberals who don't have that energy, but you still have that unifying energy. Like, that's why you like to wear your stars and stripes casually all times.
I don't know if you heard this something recently in Canada. It was like they have to, how, so for us, when we grew up, we had to do the Pledge of Allegiance to our flag.
Yeah.
So in Canada, I heard now they have to acknowledge every morning that they're on stolen land as a part of their like recognition and things. So it used to make it to where we were more patriotic, would stand up for, our country, our flag, our soldiers, whatever. They're doing the opposite. They're just demoralizing the Canadians to like the highest degree. And there was this guy, yeah, it's insane. This guy from he was driving. I don't know if you saw the footage where they just admitted him on the basis of like a psychiatrist was like, "Yeah, we have to evaluate you." Did you see this? They just
No, I have not seen that yet.
so he's been pushing back, I think, in Montreal against like the censorship, all the stuff, and he gets filmed. He's filmed because he gets pulled over, and the cop is with a psychiatrist, and they're basically like, "Hey, this psychiatrist says you have to be admitted," and they just take him.
Wow. But yeah, that's basically what we Germans also basically have to go through learning about the Holocaust at such an early age to just feel bad about your country, just to feel bad about your nationality
Yeah,
instead of feeling pride in it, instead of actually being happy that you are German.
yeah,
Because I would want every person to at least know the national anthem. Not even everyone knows the national anthem in Germany. And that's actually messed up because that's a natural thing to you as Americans to know your national anthem, to sing the Star Spangled Banner. Meanwhile, over here in Germany, uh, nobody knows the full lyrics to Einigkeit und Recht und Freiheit. And
it sounded cool when you said it.
but that's how it is. And I I wish we could actually learn from American patriotism a little bit more.
Yeah, I haven't been in school in 15 years, but I'm sure a lot has changed for the kids where I don't even know. I'm sure half of them don't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance or if they even do it anymore. Because 'cause I'm sure parents are like, "That's that offends me. You shouldn't do that." Who knows, right?
Right. I mean, I haven't been to school since 2018. So, yeah, I am 26 years old. So, yeah.
Time flies, huh?
Huh?
Time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah, for real, for real. 2027 next year, man. Gotta watch out to not be part of the 27 club.
Yep.
But
And you're 6'2"?
I'm 6'2".
Are you did I see on your profile you do like a model or something or
Well, I do modeling for like hobby photographers who just want to expand their portfolio. And I would totally love to be more professional with my modeling because I do have the height, but I think I may be even too tall for certain agencies. So, but
I wanted to ask you about that because there's this funny thing. I heard it's not true in Europe because you guys use centimeters to measure on
yeah, we
altitude.
use centimeters and meters. Yeah,
But in the US, there's this whole thing where it's like a guy has to be 6 foot, for a girl to be interested kind of thing. And
right.
I've heard it's because we measure it in that kind of way. But what's funny I found and I wanted to ask you is when I'm 6 foot. Whenever I've had a girlfriend, they've always been about 5 foot, 5'2", and they're always like, "You're the shortest guy I dated," kind of thing. But when I've talked to girls who are taller, they're like, I mean, as long as a guy is like 5'8", 5'10", they seem less picky than the really short ones. Have you noticed that?
That's true. I mean, I'm also less picky. I love a short king, he can also be 5'7". I don't care, because the personality is what matters most and the charisma and the vibes. I'm a person who chooses people to date like guys to date based on their vibes alone mostly. Because like I don't care if you're a politician or if you're a rock star or whatever. As long as there are the similar vibes going on, I'm down. And I have never really dated a guy who has been taller than me. So
Yeah, I've always found the taller girls to be more humble about that specific subject, at least.
yeah, I don't understand why them short girlies.
Because I feel like then if you get to a point where let's say you're a female, you're 6'2", you're 6'5", and you're like, I can only date 7 foot or more. It's like you have no, we have way less options, right?
Yeah,
And then the kids would just get taller and taller.
yeah, exactly. But I don't see a problem in dating a shorter man, because the height within is what matters most. If you have a strong personality or if you have the values straight, it's important to have the same values, to share the same
Bananas.
values. But opinions they can vary, of course, but the values they need to be the same. And I think what also should be even more important that is a little bit more radical to even say today. But I think it's also important to not date outside your ethnicity as a white person right now because we do lots of race mixing these days, which is also understandable because love is love after all, sure. But I think it's important that we also not lose touch of our own DNA in that way.
Well, I think it would be one thing if it really was this society where everyone loved each other and blah, blah, blah. But the fact that it's being forced and pushed and propagated onto us to do it is a much bigger reason to push back on it. Because I know people will just like think, oh, you're hateful or you're this. But really, I mean, every single ad on Instagram, it's always black guy, white girl. Every single TV show, it's that. Every single ad. And so it's like, well, what about white families? My whole family's white. What's wrong with that?
Exactly. And that's why we need to not even feel guilty about going for a guy who is white if you're a white woman. Because I think it's also part of the guilt tripping that's going on that as a white person, you need to always be super open minded about everything. No, you don't have to be.
Yeah, and I think that's something they target specifically on women because women are more open and understanding and like, yeah, I kind of like have more empathy for things.
Yeah, and that's something that I had to unlearn once I moved to the city. Because in the city, nobody gives a shit if you're dying on the streets, you know? You need to, pick yourself back up, you know?
Yeah.
And
You got to
that
toughen up.
yeah, exactly. That's how you need to move in a city, and you need to also be colder in a city, so nobody is even really going to attack you, you know? So that's why I had to lay off the suburb, village kind of attitude that everyone is my friend. No, not everyone is your friend, and it is important to look out for you and your own people, and not look out for anybody who screams at you. You know.
Yeah, take care of your family first, then your surrounding people, and then, if there's enough time and energy and you're not being stabbed to death on a train, you can worry about other countries.
Exactly, and also that's the thing with, dating to come back to the dating, thing, it's important to also not feel bad about choosing partners, like potential partners who look just like your family, you know?
Mm. And do you wanna have kids?
I would totally love to have kids. I would totally love to, have a husband who is a Christian and who is conservative, or at least,
Amazing.
you know. Yeah, in that sphere, in that spectrum, because I would love to have a beautiful traditional family, but, that's the point too about traditional families. What is a traditional family these days, because, now, everyone is going to work, and everyone needs to, get their cash in, and I think it is important to balance it out these days a little bit more, because we need to make sure that not only the child is being taken care of financially and in a materialistic way, but also in an emotional and bonding spiritual way, and that's something that is also getting lost these days, because parents need to be constantly busy with the work.
Yeah. Well, I think you said it best where if you at least have the same values, the same starting point, you guys can figure out anything, you know,
Yeah,
whether it's the money or the education or that. But when there's, a difference there, it doesn't matter how much money you have.
exactly. And I love that the conservative and right wing community is actually looking out for the mother too, that the mother is not being overwhelmed by managing not only the household but and also taking care of the kids, but also going to work, because that's something that the right wing and conservative community is trying to tell women, that you don't have to constantly feel the need to go to work when you don't have that mental capacity. That you can actually also receive the help from your partner to also be taken care of financially, so you can actually provide for your family in a emotional and spiritual way.
That's another thing too. If you have a big family, even if a mom becomes a single mom, she has sisters, she has brothers, like you can lean on other people. And when I grew up, I have 10 cousins. We all went to my one aunt's because she didn't work. She was a stay-at-home mom and she babysat us all. So we got to grow up together. Everyone knew we were safe because we're with family, and then you don't have to pay $500 a week in daycare. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Sustainable.
that's the thing. That's why we need to make bigger families also much more attractive to society, because that's how you can actually build your own support network, in a way.
Yeah.
That's why also so that's one of the reasons why even my grandma had kids, because she wanted to build a support network, but also not only a support network, but also wanted to have a beautiful, you know, child who, so not beautiful in an objective way, in a not like from the appearance way, but like with the personality, a beautiful personality who can bring good value to society.
Beautiful. Well, I'm gonna start wrapping up here. Um, First of all, thank you so much for making the time. This was fascinating. First time talking to a German actually, so really nice.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have some issues with my language because I had to really switch from German to English again right now. And yeah, I hope it's okay.
no, no, perfect. And yeah, I plan on doing at least some time in Poland, so I'll be your neighbor for at least a period of time. Made a few
Poland though.
Wrocław.
Ah, okay, okay. Yep.
So I don't think it's too far. It's more
It's not too far. We can keep in touch and maybe we can make a meeting happen.
yeah, for sure. And then if you're in the US and I'm here at the same time, if you're ever in somewhat of an area, could always have a coffee
So you're
or
based in Philly, right?
yeah. Mhm.
I actually am planning on going to Philly next year.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Because I actually also love the Philly culture. Of course, Bam Margera, the Blind Gang.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's still skateboarding.
Yeah, I love that. You know, I actually have some mutual connections to Bam. So actually, somebody who um, took a picture of Bam for the Thrasher magazine. I am so connected with. You know,
Oh,
he is. Yeah, he's also a skateboarder and he's a photographer, and he's besties with Bam, and he has taken that picture for the Thrasher magazine right now.
well, very cool.
So yeah.
Well, the US will be happy to have you.
Yeah, nice. I would totally love that.
Okay. If there's anything in closing you wanted to say, I mean, I could talk to you for hours because I want to explore so much more, but maybe we can always do that another time. If there's anything you wanted to leave us with, please.
Oh, okay. What I want people to know is that you should not feel guilty about your heritage as a white Christian person. No, instead, you should look at it as you have invented so many beautiful things, not you as a person, but your ancestors have invented so many beautiful things. They have provided you with so many good opportunities that they have built basically because they have rebuilt the system only for you to have a beautiful life. And that's why it's important to not let anybody else take advantage of the system that they have built for you.
Beautiful. And guys, remember, don't be black pilled. Black pill is gay. There's always hope. There's always something to fight for. At the very least,
Being gay.
yeah, you don't have to go and necessarily start a crusade, but at the very least, push back a little bit. Don't be bullied by foreigners or people. Don't be taken advantage of. Stand up for yourselves and your family. And just a little bit of pushback. It's just like a bully. You hit the bully once, he's going to stop bullying you, right? So just stand up for yourselves.
Yes, exactly. Beautiful.
Hey, Lucy, again, thank you so much, guys. Let us know what you thought down below. Go follow Lucy. I'll have your stuff down below, and hope you have a good week.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.